Traveling abroad can be super exciting, but we totally understand that for some of you, it might even be scary. Now, my name is Raja, and I've been traveling almost my entire life. We have assisted and helped in hundreds of people traveling across the world. We have helped in various tours, flight bookings, and we have tons of experience in this travel space. So in this video, we are going to be providing you 8 of our most important tips for Indians traveling abroad. We have even seen frequent travelers making some of these mistakes. So we really do believe that some of these tips will be really beneficial for you even if you're already a frequent traveler. The first tip is you need to convert your rupees to US dollars before leaving India. Now, we have all heard the famous song, the whole thing is that Ke bhaiya sabse bada rupaya. Well, we all love our rupees, but it's not the most widely accepted currency around the world. Supposing you're planning to go to Singapore, you would need the Singapore dollars as a form of currency in Singapore. If you're planning to go to Thailand, you would need the Thailand baht as it's the local currency in Thailand. You can directly convert your rupees to Singapore dollars or Thailand baht in your favorite bank, money changer, or even your special shops. But it's not the same for all currencies. Supposing you're planning to go to Bali. Now, you might not be able to get Indonesian rupiah in any of the money changers banks or even the shops. The Indonesian rupiah is not that famous in India. So the solution is you need to change your rupees to US dollars, and once you land in the country, in whatever country that you're planning to visit, that's where you need to convert your US dollars to the local currency. Yes, I know it's a two-time process, but by keeping dollars, you save a lot. We'll discuss more in the second tip because you do not want to convert all your cash into the foreign currency, especially if you're not going back and forth regularly. The common mistake we see is that people convert all their money into the foreign currency and then they have to lose again, even lose a way lot more when they have to convert the foreign currency back to US dollars in the airport. The second tip is do not change all your dollars at one time. Now, once you land, you might need the local currency, especially if you don't bring any or especially if you do not have any local currency available. So you need to change some of your US dollars to the local currency in the airport. In our experience, all the airports around the world do not give the best rates. So you might want to just change a little, just enough to survive. And then once you reach the city, that's where you can convert more of your US dollars to the local currency. If you are traveling to a big city where money changes are easily available all around you, near your hotel, or even your hotel is accepting the foreign exchange, then change your money slowly. Do not change everything in one shot. Change your money slowly. But if you're planning to visit a small city or a small island or a remote area, that's where you might want to stock up a little bit more of the local currency because you might never know whether you're going to be finding or be able to find another money changer over there. As Indians, it's in our blood to cry about spilt milk. So we have heard this line thousands of times. Oh, you know what? I should have converted more money last week in that money changer and now I'm not getting the best rates. Doing that is just gonna hurt you, and it hurts even more if you change all your money in one shot and then you come back with excess money of the foreign currency and you have to change back the foreign currency in the airport, changing them back to US dollars where you'll be getting even worse rates. So change your money slowly. Do not go change all your money at one single time. The third is regarding the international credit card or debit card. So you might want to call up your bank to make sure that whatever debit card or credit card that you're having is able to be used abroad. In some cases, you might even need a new card. You need the card to be having a Visa or a MasterCard logo in the card. You might also require to call up the bank and tell them that you are planning to go abroad and please activate the international payments. The last thing you want is being abroad and then trying your card, swiping your card, and then it's only going to be showing declined. Now, you can also save that embarrassment by calling up the bank earlier while you're still in India to make sure that your card is active for international transactions. By having your debit card or your credit card ready, you also wouldn't have to worry about doing any sudden or impromptu transactions. Like supposing you go to a shop and then you like a painting, you like maybe something that is quite expensive, and you don't have the money with you. You don't have the local currency with you. You can obviously use your credit card or debit card if the card is active. Now, if the card is not active, you would come back home sulking and you miss the opportunity of buying something that you really like just because you did not bring enough of the local currency with you. The fourth tip is to try the local food. Now, as Indians, we love our food, and this is one of the biggest problems for Indians traveling abroad. It's very difficult for us to adjust and adapt to the local cuisine. We love our dal rice, and that's what hinders us. The problem is that we don't get the chance to try something new. Either if you're a veg or a non-vegetarian, I'm pretty sure there is something for everyone everywhere. It might not be as great as your favorite butter chicken or paneer makhanwala, but then you're abroad, dude. Come on, let's try something new. We don't know when you're coming back there again, and it might just be an experience of a lifetime. The other reason why you might want to try something local is that Indian food is considered exotic food around the world. Indian foods are overpriced around the world. It's not as cheap as it is in India. Now, I had a friend of mine who went to Paris and spent around 3,500 rupees for Bengan ka Bharta. Now, I was like, it was very difficult for me to digest because Bengan ka Bharta, and then it's just 40 euros or 3,500 rupees. And the person was actually going back the next day. Like, are you that desperate to eat Indian food? And recently on our trip to Bali, we paid 30,000 rupiah or around 150 rupees for a piece of chapati. Like, the entire bill came up to 10,000 rupees, approximately 10,000 rupees for just 3 to 4 people, and they were not even full. And they were actually going back to India in the next 2 days. So Indian food is really expensive. Save your money, try the local food out, and you might actually enjoy it. The fifth tip is that the IST is not the standard. Now, I'm talking about the Indian Standard Time as well as the Indian Stretching Time. Now, none of these are actually the standard around the world. For those of you who doesn't know, there is a time difference in different parts of the world compared to India. So if it's 9 o'clock in India, it does not mean that it's 9 o'clock everywhere around the world. So you might need to add or subtract a few hours based on where you're going. The other thing is that the Indian stretching time. Now, it's common for us to be late for maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or even an hour and a half. For some people, an hour and a half is considered standard. But that's not the way how the world goes. Now, we had quite a pretty bad experience in Bali, in which that the service operators told us that if you're bringing Indian guests, then we need to know, because Indians are expected to be late. Like, they're not on time, and it becomes very difficult for the tour operators to work, because if they're told that they're supposed to be there by 10, Indian guest normally comes by 12. In some cases, they can adjust, but in most cases, if you're late, then you're late, dude. And then you might miss the bus, you might miss the train, you might miss the plane. You might ruin an entire experience just because you're late. So don't be late, always be punctual. If it's possible, try to be earlier. The sixth thing is that you need to be open to various cultures. Now, even if you travel around India, you will notice that there is different cultures in different parts of India. In some parts, this is common. In some parts, this is common. For example, in India, it is considered rude to be handing over something to anybody with the left hand. Now, this is not true in the western part of the world. In India, swimsuits and bikinis are considered too revealing, and not everybody uses them. But again, this is not considered the same around the world. Not only that, depending on where you're from, the standard of being polite and the standard of being rude is also different in different parts of the world. So our advice is, once you land, you pay attention to everything around you. See, how are they behaving? How are they walking? How are they talking? How are they interacting amongst each other? Follow that standard and you should be pretty safe. If you're confused, just be extra polite and you should be good to go. And if you make any mistakes because of the culture difference, just apologize. Tell them that you're from abroad and you don't understand all these things. And most of the times they'll just let you go. They would forgive you only if you have the right attitude. The last thing you want is being detained in a foreign country, in a foreign land, in a language that you might not be able to speak just because of the wrong attitude or the wrong behavior. This happens more often than you would expect. It just doesn't hit the news because it just brings a bad name for the tourism as well as from the country the tourist is from. The seventh is actually book cheaper tickets. Now, this is a very money-saving tip. Yes, I know there are plenty of websites where you can actually book your flight ticket from. But if you want the cheapest rates, then check out flywithadira.com. We have partnered up with a number of travel agents to give you the cheapest flight booking website. Now you can directly go to the website, check it out for yourself, and you can compare it with different websites and see how they perform. You would save so much time comparing from one website to another, to another, to another to get the cheapest prices. Using one website, you do that all in one go. It's flywithadira.com, and the link is also provided in our description. And the eighth tip is actually pretty simple. Share this video to your friends and family, whoever you're planning to go on the trip abroad with. You know, like if you're traveling abroad with a group of people, if one person makes a mistake, it affects the entire team. If one of you turns up late, then it would destroy the entire trip. Now, if one of you have a problem with the locals, then again, it's a group collective issue. If you have traveled abroad and you have certain tips that we have not mentioned, please provide them in the comment section down below. You can give us a like to support us and click subscribe for more travel tips just like this one. We have also created a mailing list specially designed for Indians to get various deals, promos, and even free stays. The way to do that is sign up for our mailing list, which the link is also provided in the description. We have an amazing video on how to prevent your account getting hacked when you're traveling. To view that video, you can click right here. This is Raja from Adira Travels. Hope you stay safe, keep smiling, and we'd love to see you in our next videos. Bye-bye.